Just seen someone post a question on the Facebook asking about ministerial servants. When they at what age are they appointed servants? What age are they out? Did you become an elder? As if it's like an age, if there's an age requirement. The only requirements I know is if you want to be a ministerial servant, you have to be an all-out, full-on arsehole licker, and have no brain of your own to think or question anything the Watchtower says. And to be an elder, then you will by then be ultimately well and truly weathered in, sort of worn into the brainwashing, and really believe the crap that you are drip fed, and then you're a full-on empty body with the mind of the collective, willing to protect paedophiles, to tell a family that they can't be on Zoom because there's a paedophile on there. Or no, to tell a family that they're wrong in not wanting to be on Zoom because of the paedophile, and that the paedophile has sexual thoughts about children, yet he has a good relationship with Jehovah. What the fuck? Anyway, so yeah, that's it basically. I was in one congregation, got baptized, and was sort of pushed along, as it were, talks. This was when they were doing second school and stuff, so I was doing talks in the back room, talks which I thought was worse because they were all close to you. I even did a talk about pornography in front of my father, who came to see me at the hall and do a talk. Probably embarrassed him a bit, but there we go, I ain't bothered. Did a talk on the platform in front of, I did talks. I would go to people's houses for field service, and I would get there and I would take the group and sort out I'd have the territory, and we'd go on ministry. So I was taking groups, I was doing talks, I was helping out at the hall, any building work, cleaning, hospitality at the house, everything. And I wanted to be involved in everything. I hate standing back and watching things. I always want to be part of something. And then I moved congregation, and it was a completely different story. It was just more elderly people, not many young at all. I think by the time I left, I was the youngest in the congregation. And although there was 3 boys, but they're like young teenagers, or whatever. And it's just like they were holding back because I'd just moved, so they said it'd be too much to give me any responsibilities. And I tried and tried. Believe me, I did a lot. I'm not blowing my own horn here, but I did a lot for that congregation. People in the congregation would say, "There's nothing you didn't do tonight, did you?" On the mics, on the sound, covering for people, doing all sorts. Every time someone didn't turn up to do an item, a demo or whatever, Maria'd put her hand up and do those. And I was never asked to be a servant or anything like that. And I think it's because I'm too, I think too much, talk too much, and because of that, I wasn't arse licking. I was doing it because I wanted to, And then eventually I got pissed off, fed up, pissed off of trying, because I got depression, and you miss a couple of meetings and people just fucking cut you off. Like, why haven't you been here last 2 meetings? Like, fucking hell. Why haven't I been here? Oh, because I've got fucking knob rot. Do you want my private information? No, I've got depression that I don't want to fucking talk about. I'm supposed to be at Kingdom Hall, being happy. And seriously, when people ask you at the hall, the funny thing is, a lot of them, they say, how are you? And you tell them, and they don't know what to say anyway. And some people, they don't fucking mean it. There was one elder there, proper knobhead. He was like, oh hi, how are you? Yeah, I'm not too bad. I've been down work. Oh, okay, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And he just fucking walk off. Why ask me how I am? Why ask how my day? What the hell? And I think that's why in the congregation nobody knew anyone. People have been in this congregation like 20, 30 years, and they ain't got a fucking clue about each other. Yeah, I've gone there and I spend instead of doing what he did, his wife told me he would try every meeting to go and say hello to everyone, ask if they're all right. But what the fuck does that do? Nothing. It just shows that you're a fake ass penis. That's what he is. That's a big fat penis. Actually, he's not. He's a little penis. And in his face. That's what I feel like, because he was a horrible little bastard. He was a famous witness, which means he comes from a long line of tosspots who are part of the organisation, who are apparently anointed, blah, blah, blah. So we call them famous witnesses. They can... sun shines out of their backsides. They turn around, you put your fucking shades on. And it's just... Yeah, don't like famous witnesses really piss me off. Arrogant bastards. And they know it's corrupt, and they know it, and they know how to play it as well, I think. It's funny. But anyway. For this little penis going around the hall, asking everyone if they're alright, and you say, yeah, and then just walks off, just the next person. That doesn't achieve anything. The best thing to do, think, I'm going to spend time with this person, talk to them. And people always look shocked and don't know what to do. And sometimes I think you're being nosy, but I'm not. It's like, you're supposed to be a family, and you're asking me, and I ask them, where do you work? What do you do? And things like that. Or, what's your hobbies? And I'd just come out and say those things, and I'd learn a lot about a lot of people. And then when I'd go out and talk to people on the ministry, say I was working with a sister, I'd say, oh yeah, so-and-so does so-and-so. Do they? And I've mentioned this in my video before, and one of my videos about this. And yeah, they should all learn to know each other, but they don't give a shit. And the elders are quite empty in that way. And one thing that got me is when they said that about they said when I said when I first came into this religion, you talk. Well, I said when. Yeah. Brain fart. I said, what happens if there's a paedophile? And the brother said, if they're a paedophile, they would be escorted in and out the hall, and they would have an elder either side of them. I was happy with that. Of course, then a paedophile moves in. Elder tells me this guy has thoughts about sexual thoughts about children. The guy's been to Thailand. He's just come off his sex offenders list. He's just come off his tag. He's gone to Thailand. I was told by an elder's wife in another congregation that he'd left that congregation because he wasn't happy with the restrictions, which he wasn't. He wasn't repentant about anything he'd ever done in his past. He'd been to prison for child abuse. And I was warned about him. The elder that warned me is gone. Obviously, he probably got into a lot of trouble. The elders tried to lie to me, told me that he wasn't a paedophile and all this shit. But they knew I knew in the end, and there was fuck all they could do. And probably best, really, I think the whole idea was to kick me overboard and me and my family and get us out of the congregation before we sunk the whole fucking ship. And I honestly feel that's the way they felt about me. In the end, it's best just to let him go because he's fucking rocking the boat. Yeah, so elders, and the funny thing is with that, watching that TV program, Apostasy on BBC Two. It was on at 10 o'clock. I've seen it before, and as I've said it before. But the thing that really got me was the elders. You know, they really didn't. They did that perfect on that film. Fucking spot on. Elders will stick to the scriptures, and if it upsets you, they don't give a fuck. When you watch the bit where the daughter finally kicks off and says, "Look, you don't rule my life, you know, and all this lot," and she's had enough, and she marches out. You see the young one come out after her and say, "Oh, you know, we understand you can come back in," which is right. But then the other two elders who were by the door stood back sheepishly, as if to say, "What a little bitch," and that's exactly what the elders are like. So they're just empty tosspots, completely brainwashed, 100%. And what else was I going to say? So you've got that, and you've got oh fuck! I've lost my train of thought now. I was talking about that. Oh, that was it. When they announced that the daughter had left, I'm talking about the film apostasy. Well, about when that girl, when they announced that the sister is no longer a Jehovah's Witness, and the younger sister and the mother are there, and no one comes to console them or talk to them, and when they're going out the hall, they're just fucking gossiping and assuming why she's gone, and that's exactly what happens. Gossiping little bitchy sisters, and it's the older ones that do it as well. And they all chat behind the backs.
Very spiritual anyway. That's usually.
Yeah. So not very good, but there we go. That's all. Yeah, I was just saying about that thing. I was looking at online, and some bloke asked questions about being a ministerial servant and all this.
Well.
Basically, you have to be completely fucking submissive. Don't ask no fucking questions. Yeah. Go on, say one thing, because I'm gonna have to stop the video because it's getting too long.
That brother said, "I won't be a boot polisher," and I said, "I won't be a bum licker." Well, it wouldn't matter if I was a bum licker, I wouldn't get made an elder or a ministerial servant, but you have to be a bum licker. Just be a little puppy dog running around after the elders.
Well, you have to. You can't just do it and enjoy doing it. You have to do it and do it their way or no way, and you have to and fucking keep a straight face all the time. And that little penis and the little penis elder, you know I'm talking about the one I text saying you won't split this family up. Well, he's a fuckhead. He just joined our congregation, and I had these little joke hands. I just bought these little hands. They were tiny little things. I haven't got now. And I have my blazer on, and you hold on to these little, so you have a little hand, like a little human hand like that, and then it has a little nub and a little knob bit that you hold on to, not a knob, little doorknob type thing, a little circle thing that you hold on to. And I held these little hands, left and right, and I pulled my sleeves up, and it looks like you got mini little hands, and it's really funny. So I went in the hall, and everyone's shaking hands, so I'm like fucking shaking people's hands, and some people go shake my hand, and of course people are laughing and that. But this little penis comes along, who's a famous witness. He comes in, I go to shake his hand, and he sort of laughed about it, and then he made some comment, I can't remember if it was at the end of the meeting or something, about we have to be serious. Have to be serious and all this crap. And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, you can't do anything funny. Walk in the hall, don't have a laugh. Don't do anything. Sit down. Because I used to actually be like that.
But they loved it.
When I was a sound, when I used to work really hard at it and try and do everything, you'd sit there on the sound and I'd try and sit up straight. You'd try and sit up straight. And then over time, I thought, fuck this. I've had enough. And I didn't try to reach out or anything. I just had enough by then. I thought, nah, fuck it, I don't want to be an elder or a pricky fucking minister anyway. So I just I was just a slouch and just relax and just chill out and do what the fuck I wanted.
The worst one.
And that's the attitude that I got.
Yeah.
That's the attitude I had, and that's why they didn't like me in the end. And yeah.
The worst one was when that elder said to you, when the circuit overseer came, we were discussing you being a ministerial servant. Hang on.
Be quiet.
we was discussing you being a ministerial servant, but you come to the meeting without the children when Marie's not well. You should be bringing the children. And you had to say, I can't have the children here because there's a paedophile here. You couldn't take.
No, I couldn't go on my own with
the
my
girls
children
to the toilet or anything like that.
This is what I went onto a meeting. I had a meeting. I was on microphones and something else. And silly fucker says, "Where's your kid? Where's the children?" I said, "I live in my room. Marie's not well." And then of course I get the comment, like Marie says, why don't I bring the kids now? Well, you can bring the kids when Marie's not well. Well, hang on a minute. How the fuck am I supposed to do? I'm either going to let you down like that, or stay with my kids, because I can't leave them with anyone else, because some people don't even know there's a fucking paedophile there. No, so don't give me that shit.
We did let Granny have.
Yeah, my grandparents. Yeah.
Yeah, have Lizzie sit with her, which was fine. She's fine sat with her Granny, but she didn't think. And we turned around. Where's Lizzie? Oh, she's gone to the toilet. She's all right. She's gone to the toilet
on her own.
Completely innocently. So I shot in the toilet. But the thing was, they used to compare you to the fairly new young elder. And say, oh, he brings his children when his wife's not well.
His kids
ran riot. And they said to be an elder or a servant, you need to follow what's in 2 Timothy about being made up. And one of the things was, do you have authority over your household? Can you keep your wife and your children tamed? And they just ran round. Oh, they're an absolute nightmare, hitting everybody, and just, them kids were so naughty. And I remember saying to the other elders, I'm really stumbled that my kids sit there really good, and that is an elder and his children act like that. He obviously polished a lot of boots, didn't he? Anyway, I've got to go help the children make their pumpkin pie.
Go on. Here's one I made earlier. Oh, it's busted. Oh, it's not. This was more taut. And you can actually tie that. I could probably just tighten that up. Anyway, it was tight, and then obviously you stand on the pedal and boom, 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 boom. Because I like playing the blues. I like playing acoustic blues, so I made that, and then I put a sock or something over the end of the thing, and hit something that makes a boom boom noise. But I did get a cajon drum. If you don't know what a cajon drum look it up. It's spelled C-A-J-O-N. A cajon. It's a pretty cool drum. Anyway, that's about it. Yeah. And ministerial servants, well, the other thing about being a ministerial servant is when you're a ministerial servant, you have something, and that means they can take something away. Except me, I spoke my mind. As you know, on my other videos, I had grown men that I asked to go into the back room so I could sort out their problems. Okay, mental, really mental. Although one of them men was was all right, you know. Shocking things you see in the truth in that. See, I accidentally said the truth, so fucking shoot me down. Anyway, bye.